Welcome to the Dabu-Dong War Memorial. What we have here is the actual memorial itself, carved in stone. This monument was set up to preserve the memory of soldiers who fought and died at the Dabu-Dong battle from August to September 1950 during the Korean War. The memorial itself was unveiled on the 24th of June 1995. The cemetery holds 259 pieces of unidentified soldiers' remains, which were exhumed during 8 searches around Mount Yuhak by the soldiers of the 50th Division Republic of Korea Army from 1994 to 1997.
The museum was opened on November 30th, 1981 to commemorate those who sacrificed their lives for the Republic of Korea, to give some measure of compensation to the wounded, and to serve as a reminder of the hardships and tragedy of war, so that another such conflict might be avoided in the future.
The first weapon we have on display here today is the 37mm gun M3, originally designed in 1940 as an anti-tank gun during the Second World War. However, by the time the Korean War came around, the armor on modern tanks was far too much for that little 37mm gun to handle, so it was relegated to infantry support role. The second of our weapons here is a Russian-made 37mm field gun, also originally an anti-tank gun, also used for infantry support.
Originally manufactured by the British as the Ordnance QF 6-pounder, it was later adopted by the U.S. as the 57mm M1. Used as an anti-tank weapon, it was phased out by the U.S. after World War II, but used by South Korea during the initial stages of the Korean War.
What you see here is an M30 122mm howitzer developed by the Soviet Union in the late 1930s. This howitzer was very effective at its task of bombarding enemy positions and rooting out dug-in troops on Korea's infamous hills. The M30 was so effective that it is still in use today, or in surplus, by 40 countries around the world.
This is the 75mm pack howitzer M1, now known as the M116. It was designed by the U.S. in the 1920s as a compact airborne field artillery piece and was mass-produced during World War II. Surplus units were used during the Korean War. Today it is still used in areas such as Turkey and as avalanche control in parts of the U.S.
The North American F-86 Sabre was America's first swept-wing transonic jet and was the USA's primary fighter jet during the Korean War. It faced off with the mighty Soviet MiG-15 in an almost equal battle over the skies of the Korean Peninsula. Although the MiG-15s were superior to early F-86 models, with the introduction of the F-86F in 1953, the two aircraft were more closely matched, with many combat experienced pilots claiming a marginal superiority for the F-86F. By the end of the war, the Sabre and its brave pilots had racked up as much as a 2-to-1 kill ratio over the MiGs.
During the North Korean advance along the Nakdong River, the National Police joined the fight to hold the line. They played a significant role in holding back the North's advance and aided in the successful landings at Incheon by General MacArthur. 197 officers on the honor roll and countless others dedicated their lives to the national subsistence. This monument was erected to pay tribute to the officers who gave their lives to the freedom of South Korea.
Now, let's have a look inside the museum. 2 American-made Colt 45 pistols. I believe these were not recovered during the battle. I believe they're surplus. 2 of the very famous M79 grenade launchers. Again, I believe they're surplus and not actually recovered during the battle. Moving on. We got something I wasn't expecting to find, and that's a pair of American carbines, which I thought were phased out during the Second World War, but apparently not. Again, there's no information whether these were recovered or whether they're just surplus and on display. to the most famous of guns, the M1. These two M1s look like they've been assembled from various other guns. They're quite piecemeal. And we got the SAW weapons, squad assist or squad assault weapons, a couple of light machine guns. Something you would not want landing near you, on you, anywhere within about 100 meters of you. 120mm mortar and 105mm howitzer shell. Which came from something like this. And then I'm surprised we have one of the early bazookas here. Now, this bazooka was the 1.5 inch, I don't know if you can see that or not. This was the original 1.5 inch bazooka brought in by the American support forces that came directly from Japan. When this weapon was first introduced into the theater, they rapidly discovered it was incapable of doing anything against North Korean tanks and was quickly replaced, and I'm now deaf. This is the Chinese equivalent, which I know nothing about, except it's a bazooka. We got some early Chinese AKs. These are in pretty poor condition. They look like they were beat up. These particular weapons were actually captured in the Vietnam War, which I find very interesting. Chinese short machine guns. Note the round canister. These were, I believe, reverse engineered from the Tommy gun. Interesting stuff. And then some very beaten up machine guns. It's a little too dark to see, but this is essentially just rusted away. There's nothing left of it. Been in the ground for a long time. These were actually captured in the battle. Very surprising. A pair of German Mausers. I'm not sure how German Mausers circa 1940s found their way into the Korean War at the Battle of Waigwan. Possibly used by Chinese or Russian forces after being captured during the Second World War. And finally, a very interesting looking Russian light machine gun with a very odd horizontal drum, which I've never seen before. Very interesting stuff. And some kids. Hello!